absolute Filipino pride. Currently on the internet, Filipinos are saying Filipino pride to Filipino shame. Yeah.
I feel sorry for him because I love Jo Koy. I love his shows. I think he's being treated a little bit unfairly. I do think Filipinos turn on Filipinos too fast. So 2024 is starting off with an absolute blast. We saw that Jo Koy hosted the 2024 Golden Globes. And originally when we both saw this news, we kind of got excited because Jo Koy is a Filipino comedian.
Filipino pride. Absolute Filipino pride. And Jo Koy for the longest time has one of the most watched Netflix comedy series, and that's something to be really proud of.
Yeah. I myself have reacted to Jo Koy videos and I find them incredibly amusing.
Love him.
I was really excited to see his opening monologue and his performance at the Golden Globes, but they were very, very mixed reviews. People got very upset and we kind of want to talk about our opinion of the entire thing, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I haven't seen this yet, but it's chaotic on the internet. It's chaos on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. So I want to see what it's about and what people are ashamed of right now. And this is currently on the internet. Filipinos are saying Filipino pride to Filipino shame.
Yeah.
So I want to know what the real thing is.
And what's very weird is when I first saw like TikToks popping up about people talking about it, I was like, cringe. They're calling him Jo Koy. His name is Jo Koy.
Jo Koy.
It's not Jo Koy. But then when we watch the actual monologue, it seems that Jo Koy is trying to rebrand to Jo Koy because that's how he introduced himself too. So kind of right in the beginning of the monologue, I already noticed that the stars sitting in the audience kind of, before the jokes even started, had a very defensive body language. They were very like aloof. They were very held back, maybe because they know that they're going to be roasted. It's always that way at the beginning of these monologues. But also it seems like they don't know who Jo Koy is. They're not sure about this guy. Nobody seemed happy about him being on stage, which is quite off. I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah, like why? And beginning of the video, he said Jo Koy versus the Jo Koy that we know him.
Yeah. And this is the first time I've heard him saying it like that.
I'm your host, Jo Koy.
Jo Koy.
Because on Netflix, I think in his Netflix special and all the YouTube videos I see, it's always Jo Koy.
My aunt gave me that. My auntie Evelyn gave me my name, Jo Koy. That's not even my real name.
It's starting off weird and a little bit off. So first few punches, first few lines. It's already starting off a little bit weird. A lot of apologies.
But anyway, I'm sorry.
And also, we love watching comedies.
Yeah.
We love comedians. These excuses while you're doing the monologues, it just doesn't sit right with the audience, especially if you're already throwing punches and throwing lines already.
He seems very unsure and apologetic.
And
right
nervous.
From the get-go. And nervous.
I feel like he's...
Which I understand. It's a huge deal. And Jo Koy honestly is a shooting star. I mean...
And he said it himself, like, since he was young, it's something he dreamt of. So when you're already in that moment that you dreamt of that your entire life or your entire childhood, it does make you nervous. And you might be unsure of what you're saying.
But I think that nervousness and that maybe a little bit of lack of confidence is also what caused kind of the havoc and the social media faux pas that kind of happened.
I mean, in the Netflix specials, it sounds a lot more like the jokes were not written prior to the show itself, to the stand-up. But on this one, it sounds a lot like he's reading.
Yeah.
Which I am not sure of.
The whole skit with Oppenheimer was a little bit hard to watch because Robert Downey Jr. was not
happy,
amused at all, not entertained, not amused. I felt like when he said the thing with Oppenheimer in season 1.
My New Year's resolution for 2024 is to finish Oppenheimer in 2025. I love Oppenheimer, especially the first season.
Christopher Nolan gave a bit of an eye roll.
Yeah.
Kind of like think.
It is long. Oppenheimer is long, but it's a masterpiece. It's necessary to
build up
the story.
It's history. Like you needed. I mean, Oppenheimer basically encompassed the entire story of the Manhattan Project and all the people that were involved, and everybody that was in the movie was an actual historic character that it was a real person at a point. So all of these dialogues that led up to a nightmare, but also to the end of the Second World War, it needed to be documented. And
But also you can see here now how he is actually reading it, because he just said, "That's stupid,"
That's so stupid.
which means he didn't write it, or
Yeah.
he doesn't agree to the joke. It's not his punch that he threw. Look at the faces.
Now that whole skit that he did about like the Barbie movie, and he had this punchline of the cellulitis and weight gain and not being perfect in Hollywood. Everybody seemed to be very upset about that and calling him, what did they, misogynist they called him for that? I don't know.
don't see it.
He's basically making the same point as the Barbie movie itself tried to make.
The key moment in Barbie is when she goes from perfect beauty to bad breath, cellulite, and flat feet, or what casting directors call character actor.
That everybody's obsessed with beauty, but sometimes you have to also find beauty in faults. Not like that's not the ultimately important thing, and he gets kind of cancelled for that. He's transporting the message the movie's trying to make in his monologue, and then people like got upset about it. It's kind of weird.
So difficult to watch right now, because also seeing like Ryan Gosling's reaction, he's doing a staring competition. He's not gonna give you any emotion. He's just staring at Jo Koy, not showing any sign of reaction or emotion.
By the way, huge fan of Ryan Gosling.
I know.
Yeah, huge fan. Also, Margot Robbie was fantastic in the
what
movie.
he said about Ryan Gosling, that was Mike watching Barbie.
I was like, yes.
So he was right about that.
Crazy Stupid Love, fantastic movie. La La Land, one of my favorite movies. Barbie, bit over the top, but I found the performances were good. Jo Koy, let's call him Jo Koy. No, let's call him Jo Koy. He keeps saying, he cracks a joke and then he says, some of them I wrote, some of them others wrote, and it's the ones that I wrote that you're laughing at.
Some I wrote, some other people wrote.
No,
I think
you can't do that.
it's like it was at this moment that he knew.
Yeah, he messed up.
Those jokes will get him so much attention that he's gonna get cancelled. That's why he kept defending himself that I did write that.
But it's so funny because literally yesterday, we were driving from Italy to Austria, the day before yesterday, and we were listening to a podcast with Louis C.K. and Andrew Schultz, I believe it was. Or was
No,
it
it
with...
was with Joe Rogan.
It was with Joe Rogan. And Louis C.K. was talking about exactly this point that stand-up comedians get cancelled or get beaten down when they don't stand behind their jokes. He was kind of saying, if you say something like awful, something bad, and you know it's going to upset people, you just got to be like, yeah, I said that. But in this case, Jo Koy, he's always like, apologize. He's like, I didn't write that.
It's like 1 foot forward and then people don't laugh.
2 steps back. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like if he would just
Stand by it.
Stand by it. Like if you look at the performance of Ricky Gervais in the last 2-3 years, those jokes were so much harsher, harder, bad. Like really, you watch it and you're like, oh my God, he just said that. But he stands behind it and he's just like, oh yeah, shut up. I said it and you'll just take it. Like you'll accept. And nobody got upset at him. He got applauded for that.
Exactly.
So I feel like this kind of apologetic feeling or behavior is also kind of that.
But I feel like he's starting to get awkward and embarrassed. And just watching this, like, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up.
That's when it actually went down. And he said, some of these I wrote.
And the problem is, like, he's saying his monologue is bad. He's undermining his own monologue by saying that.
You're kidding me, right? Slow down. I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at.
I think he should have just pushed through, done his show.
In the beginning, it was already 50-50 because I'm assuming that people, the celebrities, some of those celebrities or a lot of those celebrities don't know him. So they were like 50-50 trying to gauge this guy. But the moment he started apologizing about his jokes, that's when it went from 50-50 to 0.
And of course, the way that media is, they took that one snippet of Jo Koy saying, I only had 10 days to prepare for the shut up. They took that and put that as like the headlines.
Exactly.
Which is, yeah.
It's a little cringy.
Getting sweaty palms here. I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him because I love Jo Koy. I love his shows. I love Jo Koy and I feel so bad for him that it backfired like this.
Yeah.
Let's keep watching. And then the part of Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, it was kind of cringy because he brought the whole like race discussion in,
Yeah.
and nobody was kind of buying into it too much. I don't know. And then and then again he said like, I don't care what you say, that was a great joke. And
That's hilarious. I don't care. It's just that the room is really white.
it's kind of like, oh, before you were defending yourself that you didn't write the jokes and that only your jokes are the funny ones, and then you're saying that this joke was funny and you all don't get it.
Looking at when they start putting the celebrities' faces, you can see how they're all like,
I feel like at this part of the skit, he thought that that joke would hit harder and he would get more reactions. And I think that he scripted that. Oh, I don't care what you think. Like Ricky Gervais did it, where he said, oh, shut up, you know I'm right. I think he was trying to latch onto that, but it just didn't work because it was all just like a snowball.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating watching it.
Okay, we'll get through this. Then the whole joke with like Saltburn, Barbie, Maestro, with the whole the man's pride scene. We really didn't get it because
we didn't watch
we haven't seen
Maestro and
Saltburn.
Saltburn.
So the joke kind of just went by us. We didn't really get what it's about. Let us know in the comments if you get the
Explain,
joke.
please.
We need
Explain.
some explanation here. We don't know. Okay, so that was just the opening monologue, but there were like other situations as well. There was a joke that was not
Sit
appreciated at all. And there was a joke with Taylor Swift, which I get it that people love Taylor Swift, but it's like that's a stand-up comedian's job is to make jokes about
the obvious and the unmentioned.
and people that are there, that are nominated, that are at the show, and she's there. And I mean, his joke was, it is kind of true. She gets a lot of airtime in the NFL, and it's funny.
And it's not bad. It's nothing bad, honestly.
I know.
What's the about?
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, people are fascinated by her new relationship with Travis Kelce, and obviously I love Travis Kelce. I love Kansas City Chiefs, and by hearing the news of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift together, everyone's speculating. She comes to a Kansas City Chief games. Everyone's like, who is she there for? Who is she seeing among the footballers? And then the news came out that it was Travis Kelce, and obviously it's a big deal that someone as Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift, or the other way around.
I was gonna say it's the other way around.
But for me, it's Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift. Why? Not really. But honestly, it's true. It's true what he's saying. I mean, every now and then, Travis Kelce gets an interception or Travis Kelce gets a touchdown. The camera would be on Taylor Swift and not on Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So we get it. You're right, Jo Koy.
So watching everything, I mean, I didn't find like Jo Koy's jokes to be overly offensive or misogynistic or bad in any way. I just think people are being too sensitive.
Yeah.
And a little bit too woke.
Unwelcoming as well. I feel like the crowd was very unwelcoming from the very beginning. The only issue that there was in this skit or in this monologue is he didn't stand by his jokes, and he was not confident to punch and punch and punch. There was a lot of step back.
Bottom line, I'm still a fan of Jo Koy. I still love his skits. I really think his shows where he talks about, Filipino culture and living in the US as a Filipino, it's fantastic, very entertaining. You can watch the Netflix shows for hours and not get bored, so really good. And I think he's being treated a little bit unfairly. I mean, yes, it wasn't fantastic, but like everything that's going on in the media now, it's not really fair. It's over-exaggerating and
Yeah, and it's just sad that people are saying from Pinoy pride to Pinoy shame. There was nothing shameful about the jokes. Again,
guys, don't turn on Jo Koy so fast.
Again, there were more offensive, harsher, and inappropriate jokes in the Golden Globes. It's just that Jo Koy didn't know how to feel at that moment, and he was embarrassed and awkward for himself. But the jokes were really great, and it's not something to be embarrassed of. I mean, if he was able to stand by his jokes, it would have been a great delivery. The delivery was where it lacked a little bit, but the jokes by itself were great.
I do think Filipinos turn on Filipinos too fast. It's like immediately everybody's like, oh, Jo Koy. It wasn't his greatest performance. There's no need for him to be cancelled.
It's because you all love Taylor Swift. That's it.
All right, guys.
Should
Let
be
us know.
proud of your own, not Taylor Swift.
Let us know your opinions in the comment section down below. Let's make it not a monologue, a dialogue. And yeah, I'd love to see your thoughts. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Jo Koy, we still believe in you.